All right. Well, hello there. My name is Lawson. I'm a candidate for County Commission here in District 3 of Hillsborough County, Florida. And we're doing a short video as part of our Webathon of our online campaign, our online push to make sure that we have the funds we need to qualify and be on the ballot in next November. Because here's what happens: a lot of candidacies like mine will have a good start because people say they're looking for something different. People say they're looking for someone different, and then sometimes get sort of pushed to the side, especially our campaigns that are trying to overcome the noise, frankly, of the presidential campaigns. That's the situation that I find myself in, and that's the situation that I know a lot of local candidates around the country find themselves in. They find themselves in positions where they've got to get above the noise of the presidential campaigns. They've got to get especially this year, it's especially challenging getting over the noise of a Donald. That's our special challenge. Whether you support Mr. Trump or not, if getting what I have to say out, or what we're trying to do out over that noise in the political arena is challenging. It just is. So we have to come directly to you, and that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing tonight. I'm coming directly to you. I'm appealing directly to you. It's very, very difficult, if not, quite frankly, impossible, to meet up with everybody. You know what? A lot of people say, well, you know what? You have to go knock on doors. Well, yeah, that's part of it, but it's impossible to knock on every door that we need to knock on. There isn't the time or the manpower, frankly, to knock on every door. There isn't. I wish there were. So we have to use the tools that are available to us on the internet, either things like what we're doing here in our Webathon, email. Now I know a lot of people. Who get funny, frankly, about receiving so many emails. As a matter of fact, some of you come to me and say, "Why do you have to send so many emails?" Well, it's because it is a way to get a hold of supporters. Because I can't come to everybody's house, and I can't get everybody to come to my house. I can't get you to come to my house, and we can't have an event every 3 days, and we don't have money for television. So sometimes the only way to get a hold of people is through their email addresses. And frankly, the more email addresses I have, I think the better off we're going to be. Better off I'm going to be, because I'll be able to communicate my message with a lot more people. And right now, what we're trying to do with this Webathon is what people try to do with telethons. We're trying to raise money. Frankly, it's the worst part of the entire campaign thing for me. I don't have any problem saying that. It's the worst part, and that ought to make you happy, because I'm not the politician who's okay with asking the taxpayer for a little bit more. I don't like it. I don't like that part. I don't like the part that I have to ask for a little. We just get a little bit more money. We do a little. I'm not that politician. This is the part of the running of being the candidate that I like the least. I like the least. I understand that, boy, do I understand that there isn't any way to avoid it. Quite frankly, the blood of campaigns is money. And when the money dries up, the campaigns do too. So if you see less and less of a candidate, it's because they're probably running out of money. Because unfortunately, everything costs money. Everything does. Just to have communications with anybody costs money. The cell phone, T-Mobile doesn't do my campaign for free. Um, you know what? And of course, Tico doesn't say, hey, listen, you're running for county commission. I got an idea. While you're running, we won't charge you any electric bill for all your stuff. Oh yeah, and you know what? And the people who make copies don't say, oh, you're running for office. You have to take those copies for free. They don't. Everything costs money. Everything. And I'll tell you what. You start running for office. The second you start running for office, your phone starts ringing off the hook with people who want money from you, who say to you that, guess what? We can help you. All you have to do is pay us. Come to this workshop. Come to this event, because we have information here that'll help you win. But in order to come, you have to pay. And I'm really of the mind, you know what? I'm trying to get money in so we can run and we can win. So if you're interested in change, if you're interested in somebody who doesn't want to pick your pocket, someone who's trying desperately not to have anybody else pick your pocket, then you want to support this campaign. You want to support the Lawson for Commission campaign here in District 3 of Hillsborough County. And I'll tell you what, this campaign is different for me. This isn't a stepping stone. You know, I'm not 27, testing the water. You know, last time I ran, somebody actually came to me and said I was actually in county center. I was in the council, in the board chambers, and they said, you don't think you'll win. You're just trying to get your name out there. Really? I'm not going through all this hassle because I don't want to win. I was floored. I was flabbergasted actually. And I said to myself, check my name in Google now. And you can do that now because you're on the internet. Check my name, Willie Lawson, in Google. Do it. And what you'll find is that I own my name in Google. I own my name. And the first few pages of Google is mostly me. It's the last thing I want to do is get my name out there. For me, there is no benefit to, quote, getting my name out there. My name's already out there. As far as I wanted to go, it is. As much as I needed to be out there, it's already out there. So I'm not interested in, quote, getting my name out there. Not at all. This is not what I'm doing. Not at all. What I'm doing is I'm trying desperately to make my community a better place to live. I want my community to be a better place to live. That's what I want. I want my community to be somewhere that you can be proud of. I want District 3 to be the heart and soul and economic engine of Hillsborough County. I want District 3 to be the heart and soul and economic engine of Hillsborough County. I want District 3 to be a destination, not somewhere where you pass through to get to Channelside, you pass through to get to the Gulf beaches, you pass through to get to downtown. I want District 3 to be a destination where people from all over the state say, have you been to that fill in the blank that's in central Hillsborough County, that's on Nebraska Avenue, that's on Hillsborough Avenue, it's in the center of Hillsborough County, the heart and soul of Hillsborough County. That's what I want. That's what I want. I mean, that's what I want. And I don't think, quite frankly, that anybody who's run for county commission or city council has thought that that's what our area needs to be. It needs to be a destination. It doesn't need to be a pass-through as you're going from South County to North County, as you're going from Brandon north to Wesley Chapel. This is not what District 3 needs to be. District 3 needs to be a destination. It is the heart and soul of the entire county. We've got more history than anywhere else. District 3 is really the historic capital of the entire city, of all of Tampa, and thus all of Tampa Bay. So we need to start thinking about being a destination. We need to start thinking about how do we do that, and in doing that, how do we improve? How do we institute things like intelligent development? I'm not against development, but what I am against is development that's willy-nilly crazy stuff that doesn't make any sense, that doesn't fit what you already have, that doesn't make your area, your district, your city, your community any better. That development just sucks the money out to other communities and other people, maybe not just out of the district, but indeed sometimes out of the country. And we have a lot of businesses that suck the money out of our community right out of the country. And it's time for that kind of stuff to stop, because you can never develop. You can never develop unless we decide that we are going to keep as much money and those resources inside the community to build the infrastructure, the economic infrastructure that you need. Successful communities have built over time, and sometimes just circumstances, built an economic infrastructure that now they have power. If you look at any major city, any major community, what you'll find is that in the center of that community is its heart and soul and economic engine. And all the ones that we like, they all have their own character. And we have to understand what that character is, play to that character, and win. Nobody's thinking about District 3 like that. Nobody's thinking about promoting District 3. And as District 3 gets promoted, the entire county gets promoted, and the entire Tampa Bay area gets promoted, and we all win. No one's thinking like that. Because no one has that paradigm. I think everybody else is trying so desperately to hold on to the little that they have, to the power that they have, to the control that they have. They're not thinking about the bigger picture. They're not. I am. And I'll tell you what, I need your help. If you want somebody who can see the big picture, who is a cheerleader for my district, District 3, and in Hillsborough County, which has been my home since we moved here in 1967, and someone who cares about where they live, it bothers me greatly, frankly, that I see great development and what I consider positive development north of District 3 into New Tampa and Wesley Chapel. And frankly, when I go down to the corner of 34th Street and 18th, it looks just like it did when I was 15 years old. And when I walk north on 34th Street between 18th Street and Hillsborough Avenue, it looks a lot the same. There's a park there now, a couple of parks, but it's minus elementary school, most of the same buildings. A lot of the same buildings that have been in disrepair for 25 years, still there. And no one seems to care. And we've had amazing, wonderful development and growth in other areas of the county, in other districts, but not in District 3. I think it's time for that to change. I think it's time that we start growing intelligently in District 3, in the center of the county, in the center of the city. We start growing there, that we start making a name for ourselves, and again, becoming a destination. not a pass-through, not just a pass-through. We need your help. I need your help. And this is a cry for your help. We decided that we would try to pay the qualifying fee to be on the ballot next November because of the demographics of my district and difficulties in getting assistance, resources, people resources. We thought that it would be easier to reach out to those who live in the district and state of Florida and in the country who understand the importance of effective local governance and say, you know what, you want to help. You understand the importance of effective, conservative local governance, and you'll support it. And you'll support it wherever it is. I know I do. So for those of you who are watching this video, and you don't live in Hillsborough County, you don't live in Florida. Heck, I mean, you live in Oshkosh. You can still help. You can still help. All you have to do is go to www.Lawson for commission. Let me see if I can spell that correctly. Commission.com. Let's see if we can get that shown on the bottom of the screen. Yep, there it is. All right, that's all you have to do. Or if you want something that looks more immediate and that you can see the meter move, you can go to www.gofundme.com/LAWSON 2016. Let me see, and I'll put that right there too. There you go. You can go to our GoFundMe. Our goal there is $6,000. It's about what our qualifying fee is. That's our first goal. You can help us out. Because all these things I'm talking about, we will not be able to do. I say in a video I did earlier today, it came to me that one of the definitions of insanity that Einstein was credited with was insanity is doing the same thing the same way and expecting different results. If I could be so bold as to tag onto that, if I can add, insanity is doing the same thing the same way with the same people and expecting a different result is insanity. And we do that at the local level all the time. I mean, I've used this example for my friends a number of times, that in Hillsborough County / Tampa government, you can stay in either county government or city government for 32 years, never change parking spaces. And then we wonder why things aren't different. We wonder why things aren't better. We wonder why we are still dealing with horrible, dysfunctional things like Go Hillsborough. Because we have the same people doing the same thing in the same places. It's insanity. Time for a change. It's time for a change. It's time for a change in thoughts. It's time for a change in perspectives. It's time for a change in attitude. It's time for a change. It's time. I can't imagine that any of you believe that it's not time for some positive change, that you're all happy with the status quo. I know you're not, because you talk to me and you tell me that you're not happy with the status quo. But are you willing to do something about it? Are you willing to help somebody who is ready to do something about it, who's ready to change their life to do something about it? I am ready to change what I do on a daily basis to do something about it. Will you help me? Will you go to www.gofundme.com/Lawson2016. Like it says here at the bottom of the screen. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to help? My social media circle is about 6,000 people. A few more because of my Twitter feed, but it's about 6,000 people. And I sort of figured out today, that, you know what, if we could get everybody in my social media world to sort of pitch in $1.50, we'd make about just in just that, we do about $8,100, which far exceeds our goal on GoFundMe. It pays for our qualifying fee, and it gives us some money to a little money to campaign with. But I've always been a first things first kind of guy. We've got to qualify first to be on the ballot. We've got to raise those funds first. And if we don't raise those funds first, then this is just an academic argument. This is just a conversation had in a barbershop. This is not real. We will not be able to affect any of the change that this district and this county so desperately needs. We won't be able to do it. We will not be able to do it without your help. And frankly, it's come to that. It's come to that. I've said to people locally that I've talked to, people who are conservatives, people who are in the Republican Party, who always come to me and they put their arm around me and say, "Way to go, Will. Hang in there, buddy." Guess what? You can't buy yard signs with attaboys. Guess what else? You can't qualify with "way to go." You can't. Frankly, we've got to put our money where our mouth is. Our money where our mouth is. If we're really going to say that we have to have change, especially at the local level, we're going to have to support people financially. We have to support people financially who are running for these offices. We're really going to have to. Otherwise, it's just, I'll tell you what happens. People just get burned to a crispy crunch. I'll tell you what happens. I'll be very, very honest with you, because I'm always going to be very, very honest with you. People get burned to a crispy crunch and they disappear. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that that's what happens? People get burned to a crispy crunch and they disappear because they're so frustrated and they're so demoralized that people who said they were going to step up don't. Please don't think that the Black conservative running in the predominantly Democrat district will get an awful lot of financial support from established organizations. I'll put it that way. Because they won't. They don't anywhere in the country. It isn't just here. They don't anywhere in the country. So every campaign, my campaign especially, is a people's campaign. It's you and me together doing this. It's not me, you, and the Republican Party. It's not me, you, and the Tea Party. It's not me and you and some PACs. It's me and you together. That's who's doing this. So please help us out. Go to www.gofundme.com Lawson / Lawson 2016, because that's what we need to do. That's how we need to do it. We need to do it together. And if we're not doing it together, it won't get done. That's the thing. If we don't do, if you and I don't do this together, it won't get done. Those people who are in charge now are not going to wake up tomorrow morning and have a Paul on the road to Damascus moment. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And that's the part that I think people really are hoping. because people tell me all the time, well, don't they get it? Well, no, they don't get it. They don't get that people are frustrated. They don't get that they're frustrated with them. They're frustrated with the status quo. They don't. So they're not going to change. So those that are in power are not going to change. They don't see any reason to change and to change the way they do things. And what we're starting to see, even with Republicans, we're starting to see that there is a larger and larger disconnect between the elected official and the people that they are purportedly saying that they represent. It's like, and all of us have read this book, it's like Animal Farm. You may remember the end of Animal Farm? Spoiler alert. Remember the end of Animal Farm? Where the pigs have been the more intelligent beasts and basically took over and became the voice of the animals in the farmyard against the farmer. They run the farmer off, and they make some promises. Some of the promises they make were that they will not wear clothes, they will not walk on their hind legs, they will not smoke or drink alcohol. They make these promises. But they say things like, well, all of us are equal. Some are more equal than others. Remember that? Remember that book? Yeah, you probably read it in high school before you really got like a wham in your head to what that meant. Yes. And what do we see now? What do we see now? We see some of the very same things, don't we? We see some of the very same things. We see Republicans doing things that they promised they would never do. They promised us they would never do. So much, in fact, in this county, a Republican majority has turned the agenda over to a Democrat in my district to run as chair for the next year, leading up and through a presidential election cycle. And then act like there's something wrong with it. And that's perfectly okay. I didn't know whether and I try not to, because it doesn't really do you any good to be offended all the time and take everything personally. But was it should I take it like a personal affront that the person who the only person, there are two Democrats on county commission, ladies and gentlemen, two. It's Kevin Beckner and the gentleman that I would be running against. That you would take one of those people and make that person chair. Who's running again? The other guy isn't running. He's turned out. Why not make that person chair, if you're going to make one of the Democrats chair, and turn over the entire agenda for a whole year leading up to a presidential campaign over to somebody else, over to the other side? Things they promised they'd never do. One of the biggest criticisms of parties is that people say they're having trouble telling one from the other. And boy, oh boy, oh boy. I didn't used to think that was the truth. But with this particular thing, I certainly do. And I'm really not trying to be hyper partisan, but it certainly seems to me that this was a huge tactical error. And that's defended by people who say, I don't really give a crap about these things. The very same people who say we listen to our constituency. Do they? Do they listen to their constituency? Do we have people in local government that listen to their constituency, who wonder what people are saying, who care what people are saying? I'll tell you what. Are those the same people who go on purpose to listen, to hear what people are saying? Are those people who take phone calls, meet people in their offices, go to where they are? I'll tell you what. I'm going to tell some story out of school. But the people who live here in Hillsborough County, guess what? You guys already know. When's the last time we've seen an elected official at a meeting? When's the last time? Because they don't have time for us anymore. They don't have time for us anymore. I'll tell you what, I'll make a promise right here. I will make a promise right here to the Republicans in Hillsborough County. If I'm elected county commissioner of District 3, I will attend every single solitary party meeting for my entire term. That's 96 meetings or so. Actually, it's more like 92 because they don't always have a meeting. They don't always have a meeting in December. I am pledging to you that I will attend as many as 100 meetings for one reason and one reason only. Not because I want to win the perfect attendance award, but I want to hear what you're saying. I want to see your face. I want you to see my face. I want you to know who I am. I want you to know what I'm about. And I want to know what you're about. Even if you're not in my district, because once you get, and that's what a lot of people have to understand, it isn't just people in the district. Once you get on that dais, you now, of course, advocate for your district, but you represent everybody in the county. The decisions affect everyone, not just the people in your district. So it's really important that we all see these folks and we all know who these people are. You know, one of the things people say all the time, I'm big and know people say all the time, they say that it doesn't matter what you know, it's who you know. That's not really true. It does matter what you know, but it really matters who knows you. And I can prove that. We all know who Barack Obama is. But when you take your phone call, if you called him up right now, with your cell phone and call him, will you take your phone call? The answer is no, and it's no for really one reason. He doesn't know who you are. He doesn't know you. It's not about who you know, it's who knows you. And I want to be the county commissioner who knows you. So everybody who are my constituency can say, yeah, we know who he is, but more importantly, he knows me. So if you live in District 3 on 34th and 18th, you can say, oh, my county commissioner is Lawson, and that's not so impressive that I know who he is, but he knows who I am. He knows that living on the corner of 34th and 18th are the Addisons. That's what he should know. That's a paradigm shift that we have to have. And unless we have that paradigm shift, we're never going to be, for people who live in the city of Tampa, we're never going to be the next great city in the USA. Unless we have that paradigm shift, we're going to be slipping and sliding through the end of the century without any real direction. Unless we change the paradigm. Go to www.gofundme.com, Lawson 2016. Unless we can make those changes, And again, like I said a few minutes ago, I don't think that anybody on the Board of County Commissioners or the City Council or even the Mayor's office is going to have a call like Road to Damascus moment, where their whole lives change and the whole paradigm changes, and they suddenly go, "Oh Lord, forgive me, I have been doing this wrong for 35 years." That's not going to happen. I don't have faith for that to happen. But what I do have faith for is that we're going to reach our goal together, you and I. We're going to reach our goal, and we're going to be a part of a paradigm shift in local government that will be a template for local governments throughout the country. They're going to look at Hillsborough County and go, wow, it works there. It works there. The relationship between county commission and the citizenry and the city council and the citizenry and the residents and the businesses, it works there. Yes, somebody's got to be in charge. But we're not going this top down. I'm on the city council or I'm on county commission, and I'm up here and you're down there. That's not, and that's what, and that's, and I think that a lot of you are starting to feel that, and that's kind of how things are going. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to make dang on sure that that's not how it's going to go. I'll promise you that that's not how it's going to be, and that's not how it's going to be when I'm on county commission. That's not how it's going to be. Yes, every county commissioner and city council member, and I'll believe them, all have extra jobs that they do. Just extra assignments. They serve on a number of boards that they're assigned to, and everybody wants their ear. I get that. But the job is tough. But you ask for it. So it's tough, and you're busy, and it's long hours, and you have to explain yourself again and again and again and again, and you have to answer the same question again and again and again. But so what? It's hard. So what? And I'll tell you what it's not harder than. Last January, I was at Florida Hospital on Fletcher Avenue. And from here, I won't show you, but from here, several inches down my chest had stitches. And at the bottom of that were 2 holes where I had chest tubes draining out fluid. That's hard. That's hard. That I couldn't push myself out of a chair. That's hard. Answering some phone calls and some emails. Coming on and doing the Google Hangout. And where I've got questions, I got questions ready, enabled so you can ask questions. This right here, this ain't hard. This ain't hard. I teach music for a living, and I tell my students this. I tell them that none of music is hard. It just gets complicated. That's all. Like most of life. Most things are simple. The complications come that you have to be able to do a lot of things at the same time, or know a lot of things at the same time. None of it's hard. That, laying in that bed at Florida Hospital last January, that was hard. Wondering if you were going to die, even when I went home, not sleeping because you were afraid if you went to sleep you might not wake up. That was hard. Being walked down the street because it was time for you to exercise, like I was a 90-year-old man. People twice my age cheering me on. You do it. You do it. That was hard. Looking at my wife and son and not knowing if I would ever be the same. And seeing the love they have for me, the compassion they have for me, and wondering if I'd ever be able to reciprocate. That was hard. Don't tell me being a county commissioner is hard. Don't tell me serving a constituency is hard. I want to hear that crap that is hard. So what? We're asking for it. We're pleading for it. I don't need your vote right now. I need 400 people. Let's talk about this campaign. We need at least 400 people from around the country who have to live in the United States. Okay? So if you're watching this video and you're in Saudi Arabia, thanks but no thanks. All right. We need 400 people at $15 a piece to help us get to our goal. That's $6,000. Do you think that when this video goes out on my GoFundMe, it says I have like 6,700 contacts that this video is going to go out to, or a link to this video is going to go out to 6,700 people. I need 400 to start. Like Gideon's army, right? I need 400 people to say, we'll do 15. We'll do 15. Because that opens the first door. First things first, right? We need 400 people to do 15. Will you do 15? Will you go to the GoFundMe page and do 15 tonight? Will you go to GoFundMe.com/Lawson2016 and do 15 tonight? That's what I want to know. Can I get my friends in Hillsborough County? Can I get my friends at HREC to do each of you to do at least 15? Some people have already done their 15 and a lot more. But can I get, if you haven't done anything, will you do 15? Will you do 15? If you know me, if you know my work at the Will Lawson Show, if you know me from church, if you know me from school, will you do 15? Will you go to the GoFundMe.com/Lawson2016 and do 15? Will you do 15 tonight? I need 400 people to do 15. Do you believe in what we're trying to do? We're trying to make District 3 and all of Hillsborough County the best place to live in the country. The best place to live in the country. That is the most business-friendly and family-friendly place to live in the country. Now, that's quite a balancing act most times, and it's going to be difficult, but I don't care. So it's hard, and it's hard. We need 400 people to do $15 to get us started. Will you do 15 tonight? That's what we're asking. If you'll do 15, if I get 400 people to do 15 tonight, we start January kicking butt and taking names. We scare the crap out of the status quo. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to scare the crap out of the status quo. We want the status quo to be shaken in their boots tomorrow morning. That's what we need. We need 400 people from around the country to do 15. If you've seen my work on the Lawson Show, if you've seen my work on the news, if you've seen my work anywhere, and you care about if you think I care about what I'm doing here, will you do $15 tonight? Go to www.gofundme.com/Lawson2016. That's what it is. It's really very, very cut and dry. That's where we are. That's what the Webathon is all about. That is what the Webathon is all about. That's what it's about. Now, if you're watching live and you want to submit a question, I've got a few more minutes. I'll be happy to take questions. We're going to try to do this. We're going to try to do a little more of this tonight, probably after 9, 10 o'clock or so, to get the West Coast, get some of the East Coast people before they watch the news, and the West Coast folks before their news comes on. So we'll probably do about 10, about 3 hours from now. I'm going to try this again. Again, so I'll wait a little bit. All right, not seeing any questions. I'm ready to answer questions. We're going to take a little break, and we'll be back later this evening. All right, until I see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, take care of yourself. My name is Lawson. I'm County Commission here in District 3 of Hillsborough County in Florida. You see me again, go out there and love somebody, learn something, love somebody, take care of yourself. We'll see you when we see you. Bye-bye.